It is time once again for the weekly closes on our favorite Bitcoin miners. But before we get going, go ahead and check out Capital Curiosities. They're dropping a brand new video today, The Phantom Fortune, how a fake billionaire fooled the art world's elite. It's a great channel about financial fraudsters. I've been enjoying the stories that they tell. I encourage you to go check them out. If you visit them from Trade Cave, go ahead and leave a comment on their videos. Just TC, just comment TC. If I get enough of those, they might let me narrate one of the videos. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be pretty happy about that. So go ahead, when you get there, leave a comment, TC, let them know you came from here. And with that said, let's move on to the next thing. Starting this week, we are introducing new YouTube memberships for Trade Cave. If you're interested, we've got the starting range here, Soda Straw. You can do, which will get you loyalty badges, emojis, and priority replies to comments, or Stalactite is the next level up where we will do member shout outs for those members. And if you're interested in seeing real-time trade posts and members-only shorts that talk about those posts and why I'm getting into them, that is the Stalagmite level at $24.99 a month. You will get up to the minute updates of when I do things and why I am doing them. And that is going to be rolling out actually today. So go ahead and check that out if you are interested. Let's get started with CleanSpark. So this is the weekly close on CleanSpark. We closed the week out plus 13.44% this week. That's a pretty good week. We engulfed the previous candle. Honestly, the previous 3 candles, maybe. Let's see how close did we get to engulfing that 3rd candle over there. This is going to be a photo finish over here. No, not quite. We got really close to engulfing the last 3 weeks of price action there. And at least the closes. So we got really close to that. We engulfed the last 2. That's pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot. You can see the BX trender. It did turn dark green for 1 week, and now it is bright green again. We are above 50 on the RSI for CleanSpark, and you can see that we are about to print a green bar on the volume oscillator there. So that's pretty great. I like all of those things. This is all looking pretty good right now. We're also seeing this inverted head and shoulders. Let me see. Give me my paintbrush. All right. This inverted head and shoulders is coming to pass. And if we get above that neckline, well, then we've got room all the way back up to about $18 on that inverted head and shoulders down there. So that is really promising as well. The other thing I want to talk about is the volume profile. Look at this volume profile. Let me hide my drawings for a second. Look at this volume profile. Basically, we get over this little hump right here. This little hump right here, 1077. We get above 1077, that volume profile gives us a huge gaping hole there that we're going to go flying right through and could take us all the way up to 1583. All right, 1583 before we hit resistance on that. And then we get another smaller hole, but we could quickly move from 1583 all the way up to about $17 very, very quickly. And that is very close to a very special number, 18, which would be excellent for us, especially those of us in the warrants. We hit that a lot. I mean, we hit that. That's going to be really good. Because, like, let's see, when we were up at 18 last, we were up at 18 last in July of 2024. Okay, let's go with the warrants. The warrants came out in November. Really? November 2024? Really? Is that when they came out? I guess they did. What happened there? There's no way they came out in November. That doesn't seem right. Did they come out on, or I guess. All right. I don't know what to say. CLSKW came out November. All right, November 4th. So let's see where it came out right around Election Day. Let's take a look here. Obviously, I haven't looked at that in a while. Okay, so where were we in November? November, we were trading at just under $18, okay? And we flew up to, on the weekly here, we flew up on CleanSpark warrants all the way up to about $1, a little over $1.60. Now you can see this weekly right now. So we're doing that pattern I've shown you on crypto before, which is this line right here, right? This trend line, and it's breaking to the upside. Now you can see I've got all my fibs and all this other stuff in here as well right now. So this one, I'm looking at a potential, like, where would we bounce if we came down? Remember, I said we're gonna barcode between 56 cents and 41 cents for a while, and we've been doing that. This is a bit of a toppy candle here that came in on the 27th, the week of the 27th, so I don't love that necessarily. But If CleanSpark does well, this one should do well as well. We could see a bit of a cup and handle come to pass. We could go as low as about 32 cents on this and then see it rocket from there. So we'll be watching for that as well on the warrants. Anyways, yeah, CleanSpark's looking really good this week. Looking really, really good right now. This looks like it's ready for continuation, that inverted head and shoulders. This looks like a bull flag ready to race upward from here. Let's take a look at Mara. How is Mara doing? Mara looks basically exactly the same as CleanSpark. Okay, it looks basically exactly the same as CleanSpark. Now, on Mara, we really need to get above and close above $20. If we can close Mara above $20, we've got a nice room in the volume profile up to about 24. If we clear 25.51, then we go back up into the 30s very quickly. So that's going to be very exciting there. You can see the momentum, the BX trender is showing we had 2 weeks of dark green and we got a nice big bright green this week. We closed the week up 11.76% on Mara this week, and the RSI is over 50 and the volume is about ready to flip green. With this move here, we could see this. Well, one, let's measure this off of this bull flag. We could go as high as 23.69, right? 23.69 is about as high as we can go off of this bull flag. Then we would need a new structure. Okay, we'd need a new structure from there. We do have a bit of an inverted head and shoulders. It's not as pretty as the CleanSpark one, but we got shoulder, head, little shoulder there, and that would, the end of that move would be 29, about $30. The end of that move would be about $30. So we will likely around that $23 range, like right underneath this volume profile thing here, this little bump in the volume profile, we will likely see a wobble there. Maybe follow this line for a bit and then go up to the middle of that line again. Maybe even the top. We might see it hit the top of that channel. That would be very exciting. If we were to hit the top of this channel again, especially sometime in like mid-July, that'd be 36, 37 bucks. So that's why I have some of those calls on Mara. Okay, let's take a look at Iren. How's Iren doing? Iren's looking pretty good. The only thing I don't like about this is this is looking a little bit like a megaphone. Like here, that's going a bit lower and that's going a bit higher. Like it's a bit of a megaphone on the last 3 weeks of candles. So I don't love that necessarily, but I am in Iren. This little box, I don't really need this little box. This can go away. I don't care about that box so much anymore. Let me see, where's my volume profile? Where's it at? Why didn't it give me a volume profile? Where did my volume profile go? I know it's there. Where are you at? Or is it, oh, you know what? It might not be around long enough because it's not that old. I have to go down to like a 3-day to see it. Let's look. Does the 3-day show it? Give it a second. It'll load in. Or not. Yep, there it is. It needs the 3-day. So we're right here in the volume, the pocket of the volume. We could go up to about 1027 before we really hit resistance on this thing, and then we've got to chew through all the way up to 1135. Okay, at 1135, then Iren is opened all the way back up to $16. So we're a little bit more on a heater than Mara or CleanSpark are yet. We're in that void right now of volume, and you can see we went up to the midpoint of it, came back down to near the bottom of it, and now we're just slicing right back through it again. Last week we engulfed a bunch of candles. This week last week. The week before last, we engulfed a bunch of candles. This week, we're printing a bit of a doji showing it's kind of happy right here in this little zone under $10. But we need to cross 10, and then we got to get above 1134 on Iren, and then we're rolling. You can see that the BX trend is showing that the buying pressure is still continuing. Let's actually move that back to the week because the week is what I want. Yeah, the buying pressure is continuing, and you can see that bar actually got significantly bigger than the previous weeks. So this thing is getting ready. This thing could blast off. Next week, we're at 54 on the RSI. That's really good. The volume oscillator has already flipped green for 2 weeks. That's excellent. That's excellent to see. Also, Iren released a statement last week about their profitability, and they were profitable in May. They made money in May. So that was actually pretty exciting. They're the only one to report profitability right now. Okay, great. Right now, what I don't want to see is Iren go beneath $8.20. $8.20, I'm going to say Iren is going to come back to the bottom of this channel right here, which would be all the way down to about 7, and if that failed, all the way back to the bottom at 521. But to the upside, again, 1135 is going to be a struggle. Once we get above 1135, we're going to hit $16. And I think this time we may actually do something like this. This is also creating a bit of an inverted head and shoulders. We got our shoulder there, right? And then we came all the way down. We came up here. If we come back up here, we could do another shoulder, right? And then later in the year, see this coming much, much, much higher. Maybe even 20, maybe even coming up and tapping 18 or $20 again this time with Iren. Right? That'd be pretty exciting. All right. Riot. See how Riot's doing. Riot it was up 22% last week. That's pretty good. That's not bad at all. We got a green a nice big tall green boy on the BX trender, our size at 53. The volume is also about ready to flip green. My volume oscillator here on the right, though, my volume profile does say that we're going to hit some significant resistance at $11. Okay, notice that's the highest point. Now, if we can get above $11.96, or if we can get above $12, so if we can get above $12, we're going to come back up to, and 12 is significant. No, it is significant because look at this channel. We've been in this channel for years. Since July 2023, we've been in this channel almost 2 years now. And I've had this on my chart for nearly 2 years now. If you follow and you go back to watch the old videos, I've had this on this chart for a very, very long time. Right now, so let's see, that would be July, mid-July. Yeah, the top of this volume is like the top of this descending channel. If we can get above that, right, and do something like this, let me show you. So if we can get like above this and then come back from above, tap it like that, any move like that, and we're going all the way up into 20 bucks, maybe even up into like mid 20s on Riot. Like that's what we're looking for. We're looking for it to come up, curl over a little bit, tap this from above, and then continue on. And then we're going to run for this highest high back in July 2023, which is about $20-ish, and we might, in true crypto fashion, eclipse that a little bit, get into this structure back here, right? Get into that structure back there, and maybe even hit $30 on Riot. But I don't really see Riot going much higher than that, to be honest. Unless something else comes into play for them outside of Bitcoin. All right. That's right. Let's go look at Bitdigital. Bitdigital last week was up 12.29%. It is following my yellow line here pretty closely. This one right here is following this pretty closely. If it breaks this line, I'm going to call it back down to $2. But with Ethereum getting ready to, to move up, we're inside of a pocket of, on the volume profile here, we can move easily up to about 317, and then we have to fight our way all the way up to about 388. We get above 388 though, we're going to quickly find our way back to $6. Okay, that's pretty exciting there. The RSI is at 49.99, so just about to cross 50 on the weekly. The volume oscillator here is about to flip green. The BX trender is already green. This is a big, long falling wedge right here. I'll circle it real quick. This is a big, long falling wedge that we've been in for a while, and we broke out of it. Okay, how far are we off those lows? We are 61% off those lows. That's pretty exciting. We came back to the same low that we've come back to 3 times in the last couple of years. Now, if we lose right here, if we lose 225, we're coming back to the lows. That's all there is to it. That's basically the end for digital if we cross 225. Right now, though, we are about to get above this big white candle right here, which is a big sell-off candle. If we close above 270, if we can close above 270 next week, we are going to hit we're going to hit 378. We're going to move up $1 very, very quickly on Bitdigital. So watch that very, very closely. Bitfarms. Let's move on to Bitfarms. Disappointment. They're actually down 2.58% while all of their peers were up. This one is honestly, Bitfarms seems done for. I think the management fumbled it. I think Riot made them suffer, and I don't really see a path forward for them, and I am not interested in them at all anymore, just for full disclosure there. Of course, nothing I say is financial advice and not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Simply my opinions, my thoughts. Take responsibility for your own risk and do your own research before investing in anything. All right, BX trender, dark green, 2 weeks in a row. RSI is pointing down. This is all bad. Bitfarms looks bad. This looks like it wants to come back to the bottom here at 69 cents. And then maybe from there we can see a double bottom that takes us back up to about $1.70 later in the year. But this does not look like it was ready to do a summer run. We would have to, in about 1 week or a week and a half, go above 120. If it can get back above 120, then we can move to 170. But anything below 120, any trading below 120, and we are likely going to come back down to 68 cents, make a double bottom, and then maybe finally make a run for 170 near the back end of the year if they can get their act together. All right, let's take a look at Cifr. How is Cifr doing? All right, Cifr, this is a nice bull flag. We got a big engulfing candle engulfed the last 3 weeks of price action on Cifr. Cifr is ready to go. We're above, oh yeah, we're above. We closed above the thickest point on the volume profile. This thing wants to move to about $5. Okay, this thing wants to move to $5. We got a cup and handle forming on the RSI. Look at that. Chart patterns work out on the RSI as well, by the way. We got a cup and handle forming that could take us all the way back up to 70 on the RSI, and that would be hitting somewhere around $5, maybe even $7 on Cifr. Cifr is ready to go. So yeah, watch that tomorrow morning. Actually, watch it, see what it does. I think it's primed. Yeah, everything looks good on Cipher, and then of course on the warrants, it's looking exactly sort of the same sort of scenario here. This is looking really good. As soon as the warrants get above 64 cents, it's going to quickly hit about $1.48. So that's actually pretty good. I like the warrants here where they are. I like this for a move up to about $1.48, maybe even just up to like 140, which would be a significant move. Let's take a look here. That would be a pretty good move of about 200% on the warrants. So that's what I'd be looking at, and I might even pick some up tomorrow morning here for in anticipation for it to also get back up to the equilibrium on its weekly volume profile there, just like it's underlined. So now, where to watch on Cipher warrants. On these warrants, if we get anything below 34 cents, that's it. Let's make it 33. 33 cents. Yeah, anything below 33 cents, that is it on the warrants. And this is a bear flag because this is an ominous little flag right here. This is an ominous looking bear flag. Anything beneath 34 cents, and this thing could go all the way back down to like pennies, like tiny, like under sub 10 cents, single digit pennies. It could go back to, okay? And on Cipher, let's look at Cipher. Let's go back to the negative aspect on Cipher. If Cipher finds its way back beneath $3.10, yeah, we're going back to the low on Cipher. So watch that as well. But I like this chart. This looks good. This looks like it's ready to go higher, not lower. So that's what I'm watching for here. Okay, let's take a look at Corz. Corz has been doing really well since CoreWeave IPO'd, and CoreWeave has been doing really hot. I've been trading CoreWeave, but I haven't really talked about it on here too much. It's very high risk. Anyways, I mean, all this is very high risk, but that one's even crazier high risk. Corz broke out. It broke out. Okay, that's really great. Corz does not have a weekly volume profile. We'll bring out like a 2-day or something here in a second. But look at the BX trender is getting taller. The RSI is at 57. The volume oscillator is pointing up. I made a decent amount of money on Corz last week, and I'm looking for another entry to potentially take it even higher. I think we need to get above 13.30 here, and then we have room to like chop up to about $16, $17. There's a tiny bit of resistance here. I'd like to see it back test this line down here about $11, which would be this shelf to the left here. I'd like to see it back test at $11, and from there rocket. But it can't close beneath $11. It closes beneath $11 and is done. And then we come back down to support down around like $9. Okay, if it closes beneath 11, we're going to 9. If it comes back to 11, holds, and starts going back up, well, then we're going to be going up to probably $16, $17, maybe even new highs. All right, let's take a look at 2 days. That's the 2-day. Can I get a volume profile on 2 days? No. Can I get a volume profile on 1 day? Yes, yes, I can. All right, just like Cipher, look at this. Just like what I was saying with Cipher, once it started trading above that equilibrium price on the volume profile and didn't break, look at that, just boom, popped up real hard. And how high did that go? From bottom to top, it was about 20%, right? And as long as we hold right here, look at this. If we hold above 12 bucks, like if we lose $12, we're going to come back and tap my line here at 11. Right? We're going to come back, tap my line at 11, maybe $11.30, $11.30 to $11 if we do not hold 12 bucks. If we hold 12 bucks, we'll just keep going higher. But I would like to see it come back test that line, and then go back up from there. And then my invalidation would be like 10.55 from there if it does that. Okay, that's what I'm watching. All right, let's go to, let's see, Corz W. These are the warrants. Same sort of scenario like with the Cipher warrants. I'm looking for them to make a move up towards like this gap fill here about 925 maybe, and then I'm watching anything below $5. I'm watching it come back down to even lower. So that's what's going on there. But the warrants, I don't have as much to say about the Corz warrants here. Okay, let's go take a look at Wulf. Wulf closed the week out plus 23.23%. That's pretty cool. It's pretty great. We're working on angle 2 here. We engulfed a whole lot of price action here, and we closed above this candle right here, which is not the biggest red candle. The biggest red candle is actually this one right here. When we're about 553, things are really going to get working for Wulf, but this is a really good start. I like Wulf here. It looks really good. The external looks good. RSI looks good. Volume looks good. We're at the point where all of these need to do well. Any of them that aren't doing well, like Bitfarms, those are the ones that we're just going to have to leave behind. All the others are looking like they're ready to make some moves. Some will head off the pack, like Corz heading up higher than others, faster than others. And we'll watch Corz come down earlier than others as well. So pay attention to that. Corz will not run as long as its peers. It usually tends to front run, go soon. It's kind of like MicroStrategy. It launches before and it also dives before. So watch those very, very carefully. Anyways, Where's my volume profile? Let's get that going. Yeah, right here. So we could come back, maybe back test 386 on this thing and then launch, or we just keep launching because the volume is tapering off as we go higher here. And if we lose that equilibrium at 383, well, then we could drop all the way back down to 233. So watch that carefully on Wulf. But otherwise, it's looking very good. Let's take a look at Hut. Hut closed the week out plus 21.61%. Again, exactly like Wulf. We closed that, and we're still looking for this third angle of attack here. So maybe it'll be here. Maybe it'll be here. Let's see. That third angle. And that third angle is the most vertical of the angles. This could take it all the way up to the top of the range here at 27 bucks on Hut pretty quickly, especially now that we've broken this line. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And we look again, it closed above the equilibrium price here, right? We did 2 candles hanging out at the equilibrium, and then we shot way up. And look, we're in this void right here. We're in this void on the volume profile on the weekly. This thing can go as high as $24 before it hits any significant resistance on Hut. So Hut is looking like it wants to go much higher, much faster than its peers as well. Look here, the BX trender, that is a lot of buying pressure last week. As long as we hold above like $17, as long as we're holding above $17, like right here. Okay, what's this? 16.25. 16.25. We go any lower than 16.25, we're going back to equilibrium, which is all the way down at like 12 bucks. Let me draw that line right there, and this is where I would want it to hold. It needs to hold this line. If it can't hold this line, that's bad. And it holds that line. Oh boy, we're gonna go a lot higher, a lot faster. Okay, that's that for Hut. Hut looks great. I love it. This is fantastic. All right, take a look at Hive. Hive was up 11.67% this week. All right, it's not too bad actually. I really want to see Hive take out $2.15. So let me unlock this guy. I really want to see it take out this one right there. And this would be my go long on here. And I'm going to go ahead and actually do a message on here to go long. I'll do it. Thing, go long. I'm not dealing with proper grammar here. I'm just typing it. All right, yeah. This line here is invalidated, so we'll go a little bit lower like that. That's kind of like my outline. Basically, we go anywhere beneath 176 and I'm done. And why did I pick this candle right here? Look at this volume down here. That is the tallest volume candle around for some time here. For some time, that's the tallest red candle. So as soon as we get above that, that's a lot of pressure taken off the stock, and it can go right up to about $3. No problem. Okay, so and also that's where the volume profile sits about 314 there. And we also have a nice big void right there. And if we get above 314, if we slice above 314, we're going to 387 very quickly. In fact, we might even hit this yellow line here sometime in the next couple of weeks here. We might just go vertical on Hive. So I'm watching that very closely, like just to get back to equilibrium, going through this volume pit right here, basically. It's 57%, going up to this yellow line here by, let's say, mid-August, going up to this line by mid-August is 145% on Hive. So watching that very closely here. I think we're ready to go. It's do or die moment right now, right? Anything closes beneath last week's candle, we're looking at it coming back to the lows at 126. If we can get above 216, then we're likely coming for this yellow line up here around 450, maybe even $5, and it's going to happen in a hurry, basically. BX Trender looks good. RSI, we're making a cup and handle just like we were on Hut and a few others there. You can see it, or possibly an inverted head and shoulders ready to take it up higher. The volume oscillator is looking like it's ready to flip green. This is all looking pretty good. What about Can? How did Can do? Minus 1.38%. Just like Bitfarms, I'm staying away from this thing. This thing is toxic as far as I am concerned. I have nothing to do with any Bitcoin miners that were not up last week. If they weren't up last week, I don't care about them. Not at all anymore. It's too late in the cycle. If it wasn't up last week, it is nothing. It is dead money. I'm not interested in it at all. Okay? So I'll still do the assessment here. We're going to go lower. So, okay, it might not. We do have a bit of a falling wedge here. It has to get above 92 cents and close above 92 cents and open up a new daily candle above 92 cents and hold above that and not go back beneath 92 cents. All right? That is what it must do. If you are in Can and it does not get above 92 cents in the next like 2 weeks, then this thing is done for. Okay? 92 cents. That's where we want it. 0.92. It must get above that line. It must hold that line. That was 72 cents. That is not 92 cents. 0.92 cents. Okay. Where did that go? Where did that go? Come on, man. Turn off the lock. We'll do the coordinates 0.92. All right. 0 point. Jeez, come on. All right, it's got to get above that. That's it. That's all there is to it. If it can get above that, then you've got room to go up to about $2 again. I wouldn't count on it getting much higher than that. I'd be cutting it at about 163, to be honest. That would be like the highest I'd be willing to risk. All right, can looks terrible. Okay, I'm not going any further with that. Btdr looks pretty good. This is a bull flag that we're making right now. I really wish it engulfed the previous candle though, so it's showing a little weakness compared to things like Wulf and Hut and Corz and Cifr. So a bit of weakness compared to a lot of its peers right now. So I don't like that. The BX trender got a little bit higher, but not by much. The RSI is looking like it's making a bit of an ugly inverted head and shoulders, so it really wants to crawl higher. We did get above this hump here on the volume profile, though, so it could easily find its way up to about $19, but I'd be pretty weary at $19 of it holding it much further than that at that point. Yeah, that's it for Btdr. If we get any lower than 13, 16, then we fall back down to about $10. So there's a little bit more risk on the Btdr chart than some others. We did lose angle 2 here. We lost angle 2. We came back to angle 1. That's not ideal. You don't want to see that because if we lose angle 1, then it comes back to equilibrium and support below. So that's all there is to that. Soluna, let's look at Soluna. Soluna is not looking good either. This one was also down 1.56% last week. This was my lotto ticket one. I put a couple $100 into it about 6-7 months ago, and it has underperformed terribly, just terribly. Yeah, it's a lot like Bitfarms. It's a lot like Can. I wouldn't touch it at this point. At this point, I'm just holding what I'm holding because it's basically worthless. And that I always said from the very beginning it was a lotto ticket. It was a lottery ticket. And like many, 99.999999999% of lottery tickets, it was worthless. So that's all there is to it. It was a loser. It's a stinker. It's not coming back. The only way it even has any chance of life at all, is honestly, man, it's got to get above this. It's got to get above $1.52. It's got to basically more than double. It's got to get above $1.52. Why am I saying $1.52? Well, whatever, 54, 52. It's this volume bar right here. You see that volume bar right there on February 24th? That's the biggest one around. Biggest one around. If it can get above that, then it's got room all the way back up to 282, maybe even $3. If it cannot get above that, then it's coming all the way back down to the lows. Okay, and that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. And in the meantime, its immediate threat, it's got to get above 89 cents. 89 cents will also be a significant source of resistance for Soluna. So Soluna needs something to get it above 89 cents, and then once it's above 89 cents, 154 is the next area, and it's got to get above that. If it can't get above that, that's it. It's done. It's just like the others. It's nothing to talk about. It's nothing to pay attention to. It's now it was a huge loser in terms of it's not performing well, but I didn't lose very much money on it because, like I said, it was a lotto ticket. I took a very small position on it, and I was willing to lose it all, and it looks like I will. All right, that's all there is to that. Yeah, look at this volume profile. It's basically the same amount of volume till we get to, let me do this right here, until we get to right here at 143. Then the volume starts to loosen up a little bit. And then we got room all the way up to 234. And then from 234 all the way to $3, there's just a brick wall there. And you're probably not going to get through it unless a hedge fund decides that they want to play around with this stock. Okay, and that's it. That's all there is to it. It's garbage, basically. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio. Don't sleep on Capital Curiosities. They just dropped a brand new video. If you go over there, comment on their video, TC, just leave capital letters, TC. Let them know you came from Trade Cave. If I get enough of those, I might be able to do a narration over there. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be pretty excited about doing that. That'd be fun. So yeah, if you visit their videos from here, go ahead and comment TC for me. That would be really helpful. Thank you very much for that. And with that said, have a profitable day.